Hello and welcome to the Disc Golf Pro Tour on JomezPro. You are watching round 2 from the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. We are here in Fountain Hills, Arizona at Fountain Park. Big Sexy Commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Colling.
Let's get into this Grip 6 low profile and check out our players who probably started off with the hottest start in history of this event. I'm just guessing. McBeth, I think 15-time winner of this event, 15 under. He just birdied everything, made all of his putts. Calvin Heimburg looking absolutely thrilled to be here today. He also is 15 under. Calvin, I love you so much, man. Eagle McMahon, obviously the former champion of this event. Big threat, big hyzers, big sidearms. I mean, he is going to bring the action. And Drew Gibson, who just thrilled us in the first round with mid-range shots on holes we've never seen mids. And then here we go.
Ulibarri, hole 1.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Ulibarri, and welcome to today's hole breakdown. We're here in Fountain Hills for the Memorial Championship. Hole 1, where dreams are made and dreams are delayed. Take a second. Imagine stepping up to the first tee of a big championship. 400 foot of water to clear to the basket. 500 spectators watching and wondering, what are you going to do? And not only that, if you want to play safe, there's really no option. Deep is out of bounds, right is out of bounds. And normally, the fountain's going off, creating its own wind current, shooting up the fairway, just licking its chops to knock your disc straight down into the water. So let's see how this plays out.
Welcome to the 2020
I'm so nervous now.
I know, I literally have sweaty palms.
Going out at 1:30 at Fountain Hills. First on the box, representing Discraft and Grip Equipment from Huntington Beach, California, it's Paul McBeth.
I don't care how icy your veins are. This hole is always going to make you just makes your heart rush. I mean, it's one of the most exciting starting holes we've ever had in the sport. And you could be the best hyzer player on the planet. This is going to test your nerves. And also the branches right off the tee off to the right, for the first time ever, seem like they're in the way.
He doesn't like it. A little bit low. Not going to break as far left as he would want, but staying inbounds.
Yep, that's going to be at layup territory unless he accidentally gets a wind lift like Drew did.
Representing Innova and Grip Equipment from Safety Harbor, Florida, it's Calvin Heimburg.
Hit him with a Heim.
And he will.
And that is the Heiser Heimburger inside the circle to 23 feet. That's a perfect shot.
Next
The wind?
box representing Discmania and Grip Equipment from Boulder, Colorado, it's Eagle McMahon.
The wind is slightly calmed down just a bit from when we teed off about an hour and a half or so before these guys did, but certainly the conditions of the wind are playing a much bigger role in the scores.
Yeah, a bit windier in round 2, to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks promising.
Yeah, that is a high attack ratio right there for Eagle, coming with a nice hyzer. Oh, that's skipping really long.
Wow.
And it falls over the edge so often. You see that thick grass there on the green catch that hyzer, but
representing Infinite
not that time.
Yeah, he caught some of the dry stuff, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's sparsely distributed on that green, and that's kind of an unfortunate break. A foot shorter or a foot longer, that probably would have just nestled just like Calvin's did.
And Drew going higher than everybody else.
Drew going with a force, and that just spikes right there on the edge of the circle. Kind of a bit of a death putt, but still in good position for the birdie. McBeth having to lay up there with his Luna. That'll be a tap-in par.
You don't see that often.
Drew just picking right up where he left off in round 1. Solid putt, dead center. Just a little bit low, but just enough to get over the rim.
Yeah, great putt.
Yeah, that is just staring at a basket with no fear. Eagle for his par putt from right around the edge of the circle. And he connects. That's a great par save. Again, that's got to be an unfortunate break. He really released that disc, I'm sure very similar to exactly what he wanted. Just more action than you could expect on a green that normally keeps those discs close. Calvin makes the putt as well. 2 birdies, 2 pars, as long as McBeth doesn't do the most inexplicable thing we've ever seen.
And it looks like Eagle might have an eye on where his disc is, so hopefully he can get that thing back.
Or he's pretending to canoe. One of the two.
Hole 2, par 4, 703. This one's got that low ceiling gap on the right side, the mandatory new this year, stopping you from going big hyzer over the trees. You've also got the option to play a turnover or forehand over the water. It's nice to stay closer to that left edge if possible to shorten up that second shot, as this is a pretty long par 4 with as much out of bounds as the hole features.
Looking like he's throwing a destroyer, and that's just a bit too high, and it does kick down. And I don't think we're going to see anything like what we saw from Simon, where he tried to still attack the green. Calvin, a pretty conservative player, knows how to play within his game without getting too crazy aggressive. And Drew going at that same buzz he threw so much in round 1, and another great turnover. He's throwing that disc phenomenal.
Yeah, that's nice distance. Really good trust to send it out there along the OB line and get that perfect turn.
McBeth going with that low ceiling play he's almost always gone with, and just striping the fairway. That is exactly what you're looking for off the tee. Even skipping left, making the approach even shorter.
Yeah, that's a perfect result.
Eagle going with that deadly weapon forehand he's got. Can play that easy hyzer over the water and still pick up 450 feet of distance. And this is going to be drifting a bit right, but really there's nowhere he can be, I think, on this tee shot as long as he doesn't. Ooh. I still think that's within forehand range of him. You know,
I don't know if he'll go for it, but
yeah.
I mean, he could do either. But yeah, I don't question that it would be within his range if he made that choice. But I would not be at all surprised to see him go back in. It does look like Calvin is going to get frisky here.
He is getting very aggressive. That better hit land quick, and
oh man,
he's going to be able to advance quite a bit up there. But that is.
It looks like they're marking him right there. So perhaps a par putt.
Just got away from Calvin just a bit there. I am a bit surprised to see him get that aggressive that early in the round. Eagle going with a mid-range from. I mean, I'm sure he's staring down 400 plus feet. Oh, wow. And that's got to slow down. No, that crawls under the water as well. And he's long with a mid from 400 plus. Did not change his aggressiveness attacking the pin. Drew going to the Firebird. This looks
left also.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if this doesn't go out of bounds. Yeah, he's coming up short. And that's a Firebird he likes to throw quite a bit. If he doesn't get that back, that could really change his game plan on a lot of these holes. And
that looks like a better shot. Got some width.
That is a Malta.
Perfect skip.
To just inside 11 feet or so. That is going to be a park job for McBeth. Beautifully played.
Long putt to save par here for Calvin. Thanks a lot, Drew.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Let us watch it too, buddy. Just off right side rim for Calvin. Drew with his putt for par, and that is the first drop stroke for Drew in this event. He almost had one on hole 18 the prior round, but if you haven't seen what he did to save the par, you should go back and watch that right away. It was exciting.
And everybody misses the putt.
And that is just McBeth has got to be just licking his chops here. I mean, the lead group that all played just almost flawless in round 1 to get to this point. I mean, this is like we said in round 1, this is a sprint. And McBeth is the only one that's going to be under par through 2 holes.
Yeah, certainly not going to be bothered by picking up 2 strokes on his chief competitors this early.
I mean, hole 2 is no easy feat. It is the 3rd hardest hole in the course, where there's really only 3 holes on average that average over par. The rest of the course is a bunch of birdies, but you're basically just doing damage control until, like we said, you get to this point, and then it's just a sprint, all-out sprint for the rest of the round.
Hole 3, par 3, 294. OB wrapping around the green with the elevated basket. You can see a forehand play here or a big backhand hyzer, even maybe a putter shot if the player is most comfortable with that approach. Very, very simple hole. All these guys looking to put it circle 1 and just get out of here with a star frame. Try to get $25 from Jomez for charity.
And McBeth going with the Malta, and he's hanging this out.
This is pretty wide.
Oh, and he has hit the outside edge of the wall. He is only going to be able to advance. Oh, this is a absolute blunder.
Yeah.
That is something you just so rarely see any player do, let alone the number 1 player in the world.
This is a lot better.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Almost connects on the box there under the basket. Calvin will have a tap in for birdie. Drew going with the Legacy Recluse on a big spike hyzer, and he's also going to have a tap in birdie there. Nice shot. And is that an MD5 for Eagle? Is that the mid?
I think 3,
MD3, okay.
but I could be wrong.
And that is just could not be easier for Eagle McMahon. And so McBeth is now throwing, I believe, a Crystal Luna, and that has come up about 25 feet short. I think he's still out. Needs this for the bogey.
Wow.
My goodness.
So he picked up 2 strokes on the last hole, but he's about to cough up 3.
Yeah, not the back and forth math you really want to be dealing with here. 2 steps forward and 3 back.
Yeah, and I think, Paul has played this tournament probably the last 10 years or so.
At least,
And I would say this is the first time he's ever run into trouble like this on hole 3.
Oh, man. I mean, his I think at some point during the offseason, or maybe it was towards the end of last season, they had posted his total double bogeys and triple bogeys stats ever in recorded UDisc. And it's just like far and away the best of all players. And there you go. That's as rare of a thing as you're going to see. Paul McBeth with a double bogey.
Hole 4 is a 250-foot shot through this triple mando with OB all around the green, similar to the last hole. Pretty wide, generous, mandatory. Just got to throw a nice straight shot right through there, keep it low enough to get underneath those flags and slide it up to the basket. This is Calvin's Rhino.
And he has been throwing this disc with so much trust for so many years, and it is still flying overstable and true. And I don't think has lost any stability. If not anything, it's maybe even got more overstable over the years. And Drew is going with a Luna. Threw a great shot in round 1, and he matched it with an equally great shot in round 2. Was that like... That was, I think, as close to 0% power as I've ever seen a throw.
Yeah, there's definitely a floor, and Eagle's floor is probably around 245.
Yeah, he cannot physically throw it shorter unless he directs his throw 1 degree above the earth. And then it just still goes 200 feet.
Ooh, got a little piece.
That's a way to bounce back right there, folks. McBeth, with a little bit of struggles in round 1 on this hole, makes the correction, and he will have a tap-in birdie, as the rest of the card will as well. And there will be, most likely, a little donation to charity on behalf of JomezPro.
It's looking good. Drew is in. Hole 5, par 3, 463 feet downhill with OB road on the right side and road long. You've also got the little planter area there. You can see some small trees on the right with that little curb around it. That's also going to play out of bounds. These guys are going to probably go with distance driver and throw flat to finish kind of at this tree. If you can get just under it or even hit it, you're going to be in fine position to make a run at birdie.
And this is one of the more feel-good par 3 birdies that you can pick up on this course with the blind basket and the long distance you have to cover. It's also one of the few holes on the course that was actually giving the field fits, averaging over par at 3.19.
That was scary. I thought it might bounce into that OB, but it stays out.
That tree is actually a pretty good thing to aim at. Usually they fall all the way down to the ground, and if it does that, you're left with a putt less than 40 feet from the pin. So I wonder if some players are maybe looking at that tree as like maybe just play Plinko through it.
I think certainly.
Oh, and that one actually hurt the shot as Drew hits the back end and it pulls it back another 5 feet, but he's still inside the circle. Eagle probably going with the most overstable disc known to man, throwing it at 4% and still getting it to fly 500 feet.
Nice shot
Somehow.
there. He's going to have an obstructed putt, but makeable. Very wide hyzer from Paul. Not able to really chew up the distance as well as he might have wanted to, but he's going to have a look.
And that's going to be a very tricky, low ceiling, long distance putt that doesn't have much space behind the pin before the OB road. I know he's going to give it a chance, but that one is just drifted a bit wide. He's going to have to settle for the par. Calvin with a chance to widen that lead just a bit low. An eagle, very low, didn't even connect on the cage. Drew with the chance to pick up the lone birdie. Ty Calvin for the lead. And he does connect. His stroke is looking so good this week. So far, so good. Drew has just been right on the pole.
Great putt.
Every putt we've seen from him has been right on the money, minus the one missed putt he had on hole 2.
Just a couple drop-ins for everyone else. And now the long walk over to hole 6. Par 3, 233 feet, going uphill with these trees right in the middle of the fairway. So you've got to go up over top. Backhand spike hyzer being the most common play. The real feature to look out for is that steep slope on the right side. If you throw it a little too wide and you land there, you're likely to roll into the road, and you're going to have a very difficult putt to try to save that par. See how these guys go for it? I think we're going to see mostly that spike hyzer play.
Yep. And if Drew, okay, he has a different Firebird in his hand, so he was unable to reclaim that Firebird with the Huck Lab dive that he threw in the water on hole 2. Hopefully it's a very similar stability and he has the trust with it. That looks nice.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And let's see how McBeth, oh no, I'm sorry, McBeth is not up yet. Calvin is up.
Similar looking shot here. This looks to be left enough. A little long, actually.
Yeah. Unable to really guess at what disc that was. And Eagle's going to go with his textbook grenade that he's been throwing on this hole for a couple years now. One of the few players in the field that actually goes with this shot. High regularity, and it seems
I guess
safe.
it's stuck. Scary.
It's just such a unique weapon to have. Not many people go with that, and he is so accurate with that. And McBeth, now back to McBeth, who splashed out for ace in round 1, going with a force here. And wow, okay, so he tombstones in just about 20 feet long.
Calvin up first.
Slightly scary putt. Huge connection there for Calvin. Very confident stroke, making the adjustment from the prior hole where he came up a bit short.
And wow, I think Eagle pretty fortunate to stick to that hillside.
Yes, he is, and he connects on his birdie putt as well. You don't see many that land with that kind of backward spin that can somehow check up on that side hill. It is such a steep slope. Almost anything that's rolling at all does not stop until it goes out of bounds. And McBeth is in, and we are looking at another donation to charity. We foresaw that in round one that we would see a lot of money going to Edge program, and this should be the second star frame. And we're still on the harder of the 2 9s. I'm predicting at least 3 on the back 9.
Hole 7, par 3, 210 feet out on the peninsula. This one is very short, but still a bit tricky. You have to get that speed just perfect. If you try to go a little bit too fast, you might find yourself slipping off the back edge of the green. Manageable save for the 3, but really a hole that these guys are going to be looking to pick up a birdie.
When the winds are high on this hole, it becomes one of the trickiest holes at this distance, at 210 feet, you're ever going to play.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely terrifying in a lot of wind, because you can't play like a floaty little shot and settle it down soft. As we watch Drew play a fantastic overstable shot here.
Incredible. That was another recluse from Drew, and we're going to get a follow flight. This is really as picture perfect as you're going to see this hole. Perfect speed with a driver on the hole 10.
Is it a driver?
Maybe a fairway driver. Is it, or is it an overstable mid?
I kind of think it flies more like a slower speed, but I will admit I do not know.
Calvin, that needs to put the brakes on, and it does, I believe. Yep.
Nice.
And that's about as far left as you're ever going to see a backhand drive stay inbounds on a slopey peninsula green.
And this looks very nice from Eagle. Sliding it up onto that front edge.
Crystal Luna for Paul. And that's got to put the brakes on as well. And no, crawls over.
Is it safe, though?
They
don't know.
Oh, my goodness. And they got to get there quick because
it could float away. I think you're going to have a hard time arguing that's OB.
Oh, that looks safe. Oh, certainly. Wow. That is a 5-time break if I've ever seen one right there.
It doesn't get any closer.
Oh, my goodness.
Good thing the fountain was turned off.
And the 5-time you want to call that, is just cost Jomez another $25, man. They keep this up, Jomez is going to be going out of business soon.
I think we're happy to do it, to be honest, but these guys are painfully good at times.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Hardly ever are you thanking the gunite.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that it would come to rest. Just thinking about all the forces at play, the spin, the speed, the wind, the slide, and just to think that every last blade of grass played its part in keeping that birdie
They all came
alive.
together in this perfect harmony of just the
Yeah.
shallowest margin of error.
Yeah.
There it is, star frame.
Hole 8 is our last par 4 on the course, 570 feet. These guys are going to go big, high shots, maybe even wide hyzers all the way around all of these trees. The goal being to catch this downslope that you're going to see the drone fly over right about now. Don't go so far that you test this water, but land on that downslope. Leave yourself about 100 to 150 feet. Pitch it across to the scary green and hit your putt.
And Drew going with a PD2.
There is that high hyzer. So easy for someone with Drew's power to get up and around that tree, and really a great option because if he tries to go lower, I mean, he's already kind of getting worried about that water even with that roll.
You see this so much on that downslope. So many discs want to funnel and roll all the way down to the lake. You see so many good drives end up in the water because they just can't stop. And Calvin with the high hyzer with the big destroyer. With the tailwind that we had, it was kind of a right to left tailwind. It really, and see, here we go. There's another example of it. That's going to curl up nicely.
That's fantastic.
It's almost a jump putt for Calvin from that range. But with that wind, to go down the middle, you are really risking going OB long. The way for these players the power on this card is top 1% on the Pro Tour, not just in the world. Like, these guys are the farthest throwing disc throwers we have. And look at this. Unreal. This is...
Come on now.
This has got to
Come
stop.
on now.
Wow. Yeah. There it is again.
That's maybe the best drive I've ever seen on this hole.
Yeah, no kidding. But the only way to really put the brakes on this tee shot is to go that super high wide route. And Eagle did that and still almost rolled OB. And this is looking nice. I don't think there's any chance this is going to roll too much. Shouldn't have said anything.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Great shots from the whole group.
Certainly.
Another star frame looking pretty likely now.
Yeah,
'Cause that's about as tough as that shot's going to get for these guys. They're like a jump putt time.
That's so dangerous with those long jump putts. He seems to make those one out of every 3 or 4 tournaments where it's just other people can't even jump putt that far, and he's looking to run it.
Another jump putt layup.
And that's a bit short, but that's still fine for Drew, who's been putting so well.
I would love to see these guys go for the green.
Oh, wow.
Not that it's a good tournament play.
Yeah.
I'd just love to see that big Annie. They could just plop it right down on the basket.
Simon went for it in 2015 and came up 5 feet short of the second peninsula. I guess it's the first peninsula on this hole, but you know what I'm saying. And Drew, he's in, so.
A lot of green numbers.
A lot of green numbers indeed. Drew, again, look at that. How is it quiet again? The numbers are right there in front of us. He just has that one blemish with a slight miss on his putt on hole 2. And he'd be right back at it again with just almost a perfect round. And he's only tied with Calvin.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious. These guys are the Usain Bolts of disc golf right now.
They're not going to let anybody run away. Everybody's playing too well. Hole 9, par 3, 406. If you are going to get a stroke, though, this is a great place to try and pry it loose from the other guys because this is the most treacherous hole on the course. Big hyzer, but you really have to push it so far left and be willing to accept so much risk to be rewarded with a birdie.
This is the hole that Paul infamously missed on his 17 under highest round ever. But he did birdie it in round 1, so I'm sure he's got the confidence he's probably going to attack again.
And I don't think Drew is interested in going for a 2, really.
No way
not.
on earth he just threw long with a buzz.
I think he's trying to play that safe and just...
Unbelievable.
That is.
His power is really one of a kind in the way that he throws a disc. He's 5'9", and he's throwing the disc 700 feet of power. Calvin spikes in. I believe that's an eagle, maybe a firebird.
An eagle looks to be getting a little bit more aggressive, but this is so overstable.
Oh, wow, and didn't get any movement whatsoever. That was on a pretty good skip line.
I just think if you throw a disc that overstable, the glide factor is not really available to you. Hard to get the skip to go the way you want. See if Paul goes a little bit flatter with it, and I think he does.
And he's going with an undertaker to get that long distance glide, and that's heading towards the peninsula.
What a shot that is.
Inside the circle. That is top notch. Really, really impressive throw from Paul. And Drew, that is going to be his second bogey of the 9, but I mean, no pars yet. eagle into decision time. But yeah, he's going to give it that floaty bid that really just laying up.
Yeah, lay up all day there.
And Paul to go 2 for 2. You count it. I mean, come on.
Wow.
Incredible. I mean, that really is as close to a beagle as you're ever going to get. It just feels like...
And that's just a fantastic drive. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, just the willingness to accept the risk, to go that far over. And it's so cool to think Undertaker, not that overstable a disc, needs that flip up to really glide it left. Not a play that's probably available to you in heavy wind, but he nails it here. Let's check out that U-disc leaderboard.
Wow.
Calvin 20, Paul charging at 19, 18.
I mean,
It's just...
You see it in front of you.
The course is getting lit up. We've been through 27 holes, and these guys are birdieing way more than half the holes.
And even in the wind, these scores are still 7 under through the front 9. I mean, this is where it gets difficult, yet not to them. I mean, apparently not for these guys, but the back 9, like we said in round 1, is where the scores really go low. Let's see if these players can continue their ways and shoot really hot rounds.
Big thank you to the Founders Club. We will catch you guys for the back 9 of round 2.